Hey Star Trek fans, Dan Gunther here. Just coming to you with a quick update video about the channel, some quick Star Trek news, and what's going to be happening in the next few weeks here. So first of all, I want to give a big congratulations to Farrell and Adam Nimoy, who recently got married. It's kind of cool, kind of a little bit of Star Trek royalty here. We've got Adam Nimoy, who is, of course, Leonard Nimoy's son. Leonard Nimoy played Spock in the original series. And Farrell, who played Jadzia Dax on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, recently got married, which is very cool. So congratulations to the couple. Another bit of interesting news that should be of interest to Star Trek fans is the reports of a possible merger between CBS and Viacom. Now, of course, negotiations are very much in their infancy, so don't look for any definitive news on this yet. But what does this mean for Star Trek? Well, if CBS and Viacom were to merge, it would bring together the television and J.J. Abrams film parts of Star Trek back together under the same corporate umbrella. So that could have some very interesting repercussions and advantages for Star Trek going forward. So we'll continue to follow this one as news comes out. But for right now, this may be on the horizon, and keep an eye out for more news regarding that. Of course, April Fool's Day recently passed, and as usual, there were a number of Star Trek April Fool's jokes that made the rounds on the internet. First off is a product from ThinkGeek. Now, this is kind of in that gray area because a lot of times April Fool's products from ThinkGeek actually become real products shortly thereafter. So you never know, you might see this available for purchase sometime soon. But ThinkGeek had the Star Trek Klingon alphabet magnetic letters, to go on your fridge and that sort of thing. These look actually kind of cool, and I wouldn't mind them as a little interesting conversation starter on my fridge. It might be pretty neat. Another April Fool's gag from Eagle Moss this time was the cloaked Klingon bird of prey. Here are some pictures of it. As you can see, it's totally cloaked. The cloaking device has been activated, and here it is in its packaging. So look for that, but don't necessarily see it coming soon. And this other gag, which I thought was really great, was a new book coming from authors Dayton Ward and Kevin Dillmore, Mission to Gamma 6. Now, those of you who may not know, this is actually based on an old playset that you could buy from Mego for their action figures in, I believe, the 1970s. And the cover art was done by Aaron Harvey, and it's actually quite gorgeous, and I've seen online quite a few people falling for this, but this is an April Fool's gag. This is not an actual book coming, unfortunately, because the back cover blurb actually looks kind of interesting. But it is a gag. It's not something we'll be seeing. And of course, I'd be very remiss if I didn't take this moment to wish you a happy First Contact Day. In 45 years, on April the 5th, 2063, of course, the Vulcans will land near Bozeman, Montana, making first contact with Earth through Zefram Cochrane and the people gathered there, thanks to Zefram Cochrane's successful warp flight, which will bring the Vulcans' attention to Earth. So happy First Contact Day, only 45 years to go. We're supposed to fight a third world war in between there as well, but hopefully I actually hope that won't happen. So I also wanted to take the opportunity to give you a little bit of an update as to what's going on with the channel. Don't worry, I do have plenty of videos planned for the near future. Things have been in a little bit of flux at the moment. I've actually just gotten a new job, and I'm transitioning to that over the next month. So that'll help a little bit more cash flow, a little bit more resources I can put into the channel. Also, thank you to everyone on Patreon who has supported this channel, including new patrons this month. So thank you so much. I'll have that credit at the end of this video. And yeah, so I have plans for some Trek lore videos coming up, more book reviews, of course, and of course any news that comes out with regards to Star Trek, whether it's Discovery or the possible fourth J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie that may or may not be coming sometime soon. So keep an eye out for that. And also at the end of this month, I will be making my way to the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo in Calgary, Alberta. There's a few Star Trek guests that I'm hoping to get the chance to talk to there. Not a lot of Star Trek content this year, but we do have Will Wheaton, who will be there, Wallace Shawn, who played Grand Negazek in Deep Space Nine. We have Jennifer Morrison, who played Captain Kirk's mother in Star Trek 2009, you know, kind of tangentially Star Trek there. And Chris Sarandon, who is probably best known for The Princess Bride, but also played the role of Martis Mazur in a second season Deep Space Nine episode Rivals. So a few Star Trek people, not a lot, but hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to some of them about Star Trek and some of the other stuff they're working on. No guarantees about that. It is hard to get interviews. I've put in my requests, but I will be there as media, so I will be there as press covering the event. So keep an eye out for those. I'm hoping to have a series of really interesting videos about the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo. It's not the only convention I'm going to this year. I'm also planning on going to the official Star Trek convention in Las Vegas. I do have tickets for that already and hotel booked, so look forward to seeing me there. And also, if you happen to be at any of these, if you're at the Calgary Expo, keep an eye out for me. And of course at Star Trek Las Vegas. So hopefully some interesting stuff will come out of that, and I'm really looking forward to traveling down there and covering those events. I also want to point your attention towards a project that a friend of mine is working on, and I actually got a little bit of tangential involvement in this. It's the Alberta Internet Creators Project. As many of you know, I'm from Alberta, Canada, and a friend of mine is doing a documentary, hoping to get funding for it, where he talks to various internet creators from the province of Alberta and discusses with them their process and how it is they do what they do and what sort of lifestyle they lead thanks to their creator lifestyle. And so I took part in that. I was interviewed for it, and hopefully he can get some funding and make the full documentary. I'll have a link in the description below to check that out. There's voting on which project will receive funding, and if you think it looks worthy, I'll have a link to the pitch video. Please consider voting for it. You can vote still today and tomorrow for that project. And I think it looks really interesting, and I'd love to see the finished project. So if you have any interest, please feel free to vote for that. As I mentioned earlier in the video, thank you so much to the Patreon supporters. I couldn't do it without you. I really do appreciate it. But even if you just watch the video, I appreciate that. Please like, share, and subscribe if you think this video is worthy. I'll see you in the next one. Have an awesome day, and as always, live long and prosper.